What's going on, footy fans? We're here with some Talkin' Footy. This is a new YouTube channel that I created from, most of you guys are probably watching this from my TikTok account called AFL.TikTok, I'm pretty sure the name is. And this channel is just about talking footy, about random topics that come up in this off season, or probably next season will be what happens in the AFL season. But I'm starting it now, and I thought, not what a better time to make a video about when Brad Crouch just announced that he wants to play for St Kilda in 2021. When I first heard about this, I couldn't believe it, because you always hear rumours about, especially this time where all these players are linked to this club and this club. And I thought that St Kilda just said that they got to enter the race, because I actually never knew that they were in the race for Brad Crouch. And the race kind of has shied away a little bit due to his, I think it was a ban. I can't remember what he did, but he has a too much ban, so he won't be able to play until round 3, which will be disappointing for St Kilda, guessing that he does end up at St Kilda. But it's a huge get, because a lot of people saw that he did get, or not him, but like the St Kilda midfield did get destroyed by Richmond in the semi-final. So they need some inside mids. They do have Seb Ross and obviously Jack Steele, that just came third in the Brownlow and is an All-Australian for the first time. And a lot of people forgot that they did have Jay Gresham. That, so I don't know why, but none of the media talked about how Jay Gresham was out of that midfield. And he was literally leading the clearances before Jack Steele, because as soon as Jay Gresham got his injury, I think it was after the Port Adelaide game, he got his injury, and he was leading the St Kilda clearances, and he was 5th in the AFL for clearances before the back injury that he undertook. I reckon Brad Crouch kind of puts the midfield into almost, I wouldn't say not top of the AFL, nowhere near top, because there is like the Bulldogs and teams like that, but this kind of puts them in a different level, especially if they do end up getting someone like Jai Caldwell, who is a 20-year-old inside mid that was shown, he was like I don't know what pick he was, I'm pretty sure he was either a top 10 or early in the 10s area, but either way he has heaps of potential, and he kind of has a bit of Jack Steele about him. So if they do end up getting Jai Caldwell, as long as with Brad Crouch, and there is a rumour that Saints could be getting Ben Brown, which I could be making a video about that in the coming weeks if that does happen, because definitely Max King does need some help in that forward line, because as we saw in the semi-final and pretty much all during the season, Saints just used to long bomb it into Max King, which actually did work quite well, because even though it was almost like a Mason Cox when he plays for Collingwood, because Max King never gets outmarked, apart from that game when Stephen May took him to the cleaners a bit. Apart from that, Max King always brings the ball to ground, which is why Dan Butler was pretty much the best small forward this season, and why they brings like Jack Loney and Dean Kent and people like that into the game, which, if you would think that if it's any other pretty much tall forward, apart from like the elite ones, they don't really get into the game much, and that's why Richmond are so successful right now, because Shai Bolton and Castagna and Jack Arts all have Tom Lynch and Jack Rewalt. So if Saints do add Ben Brown, then that's a whole different story of what they can do with their forward line. So do I think that this is a good move by Saints? Obviously. I reckon that Adelaide might just let him just accept the money and leave. There's rumours that it's definitely a 5-year deal, which is a bit risky, but he is pretty young. He's only just turned 26, so this contract will keep him at St Kilda until he is 31 years old, which is pretty much the end of the prime usually. So his whole prime will be at St Kilda, and he's already proved that he's an elite talent. I think he got in 2017, it was one of his best years where he kind of broke out into the scene, but he's never averaged under 24 touches in his career. I think he has a career average of 26, which is ridiculous. I think this year though he did average 22, but I think everyone's numbers are down because obviously he was in a horrible team. They only won 3 games. They could have gone winless apart from their late good form. And he did average 22, but the game time is down due to only 16-minute quarters. So you can't really take that into consideration. But his last full season was 2019. I don't know if he was an All-Australian. I don't think he was, but he was averaging 31 touches a game. And he did kick the ball. He's not the best kick of the footy, but I feel like Saints can turn it. But they do have Saints have like Dan Hanbury, which I'm pretty sure is a pretty good kick of the footy. They've got Brad Hill, who's obviously one of the best kicks in the AFL. And hopefully Brad Hill has a bit more impact because Brad Hill usually likes the ball getting fed out to him. And he couldn't really be on the end of that when Seb Ross was horribly out of form. Seb Ross does play a lot like Brad Crouch when Seb Ross was in 2018, because that's when Seb Ross was averaging 32 touches a game. But over the past 2 years, he's gone horribly backwards, and people are thinking that Saints might actually include him in a trade package for someone like a Ben Brown or something like that, because he's horribly out of form. But you can't, like, having one bad season, and everyone thought Seb Ross was going to be Brownlow medal contender a couple of years ago. So you can't just give up on Seb Ross like that. But since he was in such poor form, it literally just led, and then Jay Gresham got injured. But the really exciting thing is Zach Jones, because Zach Jones with Brad Crouch and Jack Steele will probably be the starting midfield group, and this could move Jay Gresham back to the forward pocket where he looked like he was a star when he kicked. I think it was like his second year in AFL when he kicked 35 goals. And they weren't easy goals too. They went straight in front. They were like bound. He looked like the second coming of Eddie Betts, or what people are talking about Isaac Ranke right now. So it'll be insane if they can push him forward. And people are thinking Jack Billings, because Jack Billings did play wing all year. And people at the start of the year he was on fire on the wing. But after about round 5, I don't reckon. I did not see him. I watched almost every St Kilda game, or I did watch every St Kilda game, and he was unexistent on the footy field. It was kind of sad seeing when he was in the same draft as the Bont and Cripps, and he was kind of been around that level, but now he's just fallen below. So at the end of the day, I don't feel like this is a bad deal for St Kilda. They shouldn't have to give up much due to him being a free agent, but if Adelaide do choose to play, they'll probably have to give up a 15th pick, our first round pick this year, or the Saints' first round pick this year. And the only real risk of getting Brad Crouch is he did go down. I'm pretty sure it was an ACL. I could be wrong, but I know he did miss all of 2018. So that's about the only concern that he has. And he did pull his hammy this year. So his injury history is probably the only thing holding him back from actually being a genuine star. But apart from that, I reckon St Kilda did a pretty good job of luring over to Moorabbin. Yes, this is about all I have to say about this topic. If you guys want me to structure the video a bit better, because this is obviously my first ever time, I don't really know what I'm really doing with these videos yet. I just have some AFL Evolution gameplay because I wasn't sure what to put behind me just talking. But give me some suggestions about other topics I should talk about, because I just love talking about footy. So I reckon if I can make these videos of me just sitting down talking about footy. I want you guys to comment though. You guys need to comment your opinions on Brad Crouch to St Kilda, and leave down in the comments below what other topics I should talk about. And make sure to drop a subscribe, because we want to try to get to 100 subscribers as quick as possible. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like and a subscribe, and share it with your friends. And yeah, make sure you go follow the TikTok down below.